Hello everyone. Welcome on in. I'm Velvet. Thanks for joining me today for a lovely little speed build with the. It's been a little bit different this one. We are going to be building a microhome. So this microhome is for a very special reason. I'm building this for my 100 baby challenge. And it has to stay as a microhome. The reason it has to stay as a microhome is because I desperately need those skill buffs in the 100 baby challenge. I need to get the babies aging up and out of the house as quickly as possible. So I have to keep it as a microhome. This was basically the biggest part of the challenge, is keeping it as a microhome, but then creating enough false spaces or false rooms to allow me to have spaces for the kids to live in. Because quite frankly, there's not enough room inside in a microhome, right? So I needed to create a whole lot of false rooms so that there was space for the kids, but yeah, it didn't actually take up an actual tile space in the game. So it's a little bit of clever maneuvering, and you'll sort of see how I'm doing it shortly. But basically, it's just by deleting the flooring and I think one wall tile, and just I need to basically delete the rooms. And then by deleting the rooms, I can get it back down to a 32, yes, 32 tile home. But it does take a little bit of clever, usage of walls and little bits and pieces just to, you can see me deleting the walls there and also the flooring. Probably didn't need to delete all the walls in hindsight. In fact, I actually put them back later. I just needed to really delete one as well as the flooring, and it probably would have been good. I probably only just needed to delete the flooring, I think. But anywho, you can with these homes actually just create false walls. So you don't, I mean, you can have a microhome, get those fabulous microhome buffs, because all your skills go up so much faster when you have the home as a tiny home or a microhome. But yeah, you can just create like the false room thing, and it's marvelous. And then you have all the room for all of your 7 children that you may have, particularly if you're doing the 100 baby challenge. You're likely to have up to 7 children at any point, and you've got to really make sure that you have a variety of bedding for them. So, you not only got to have bassinets for the newborns, you've got to have cribs for the infants, then you've got to have toddler beds for the toddlers, and then the single beds for the older kids. And yeah, so like finding or getting enough space for the house to actually fit all of these things in was definitely a challenge, and make it look like kind of cute at the same time. So the mum for this challenge is like a macabre sim. So I really, and she was created, I think, or born around about the time Life and Death came out. So relatively around that time. So we're kind of in the world of Ravenwood, and I wanted to lean into that sort of side of her, like the gothic, macabre, vibe that she has going on. So that's why the house it's a touch modern, but it's probably a little bit more on the gothic side of things, and it does suit the Ravenwood world nicely. I feel like, just got like the cute little Victorian things on the roofs, and like a little bit of a curved, like a circular roof as well, and like the gothic style windows and bits and pieces too. So yeah, I think it's a nice, cool house for this world, and it is still a micro home, so it is set up for 100 baby challenge. Like I couldn't build anything else. It had to be had to be set up ready to go for 100 baby challenge. So I'm building our greenhouse here. So part of the 100 baby challenge that I'm playing, I just adjusted a couple of rules to suit myself. And one of those is that each generation needs to start rags to riches. But the other thing is that the mama, every time a kid moves out, the kid has to move out with 20,000 simoleons. So there has to be a method for the baby mama, who is very, very busy raising children, to also somehow make money. And I've tried a variety of hobbies. It is really hard to get time to do any sort of hobby with all of the babies screaming at you and whatnot. But I found the easiest way to make money was dragon fruit in the garden. So that was a fantastic way to make some cash. And so I'm growing my dragon fruits, and they're absolutely essential that I had a greenhouse for those. So they're constantly churning out the money year round, that we don't have to worry about the seasons. So this house ended up being 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom. So technically, within the actual micro home itself, there's one bed, one bath, and it's like a studio apartment, I guess, with the bathroom. But I did build a secondary bathroom and the large bedroom sort of kid space off to the side in our faux room. So, it's kind of all set up. We've got our potties, we've got our toilets, showers, and a bath in there as well. So we can keep the kids clean. And then I'm just sort of working out how to turn the space into a usable space for the kids so they can get in there and sleep. So yeah, it was quite an interesting build because I wasn't able to build the house in the way that I normally would. Um, I do kind of feel like maybe I should have done. I don't know. I think it would have gotten quite trickier, but I do wonder if I should have had done like separate rooms for like the newborns and stuff because playing in this house, I have had like a little issue with the kids sort of waking up the other kids with crying. So I am considering whether or not I should have added like little rooms to separate it off. But as soon as you start, I mean, the problem with that is the kids kind of hear the crying unless it's an actual proper room. So I don't think it would have made a difference if I'd had like little sections for each of the different ages and that sort of thing. Because it's not a proper room, I'm not sure whether or not it would have kept the other kids from hearing the crying. Because yeah, as long as it's a proper room, yes, it will stop the crying from getting through to the other area. But if it's not a proper room, I really don't think it will affect things. So that's really interesting. I'm just thinking about that now, and that was sort of something I was thinking about as I was playing in this house. And for some reason, because I have played in this house, there was like one area where the Sims were constantly going on the property, and it's like right around the side of the house. So I ended up adding like another door on the side of the house so they could just go in and out to that spot, which they just seemed to want to go all the time. It was weird. I don't know why. But yeah, I ended up adding an extra door in there just because they were constantly going around the house to get there. And I'm just like, well, this is annoying. So I just put a door in. And, until you are playtesting or playing in a house like this, you really don't know how the gaming and how the Sims are gonna live in the house. Because they can do weird things sometimes, can't they? So yeah, I did kind of feel like there were a few little adjustments that I wanted to make on this house just to make it really run smoothly. But I don't, yeah, I feel like maybe I should do the room thing and see whether or not it does test out that way because I am kind of curious about that. But I do have the sense that unless it is a proper room, I don't think it's going to make a difference. And that area where the kids are is not a proper room and won't have proper rooms because as soon as I start creating proper rooms, the problem that I have is that it starts adding to our tile count. And we don't want to add to the tile count because it needs to stay as a microhome. Otherwise, my upskilling of the kids and therefore my aging up the kids will become a lot less fast. And the name of the game is trying to get the kids out as soon and as quickly as possible. Well, that's how I'm playing it anyway. Get the kids out of the house. I don't want you in here anymore, please. And yeah, with the kids, you need to age them up, or you can age them up when you've hit certain achievements with them. So yeah, it's quite interesting. Anyway, that is the build. That's how it sort of turned out. And I was actually really happy with it. And I've really enjoyed playing in it so far. The greenhouse is fantastic, like super helpful. And I think it's ended up looking really cute considering the restrictions that I had with it and the fact that I kind of had to work around some different restrictions as well. I think it ended up looking pretty good. And yeah, I appreciate that we've still got a little bit of space in the yard so the kids can go out there and they can do, their projects for school. And they can go on the play equipment and do their skills up, because for the aging up the toddlers, you need to get level 3 in each of their skills. For aging up the kids and the teens, you need to have an A in school. So, you've got different things that you need to achieve. So having a project area is important for the children. Having different equipment around the place is good for the toddlers, stuff like that. The infants and the newborns, basically, you just need to wait for their birthday notification. There's not too much we can do there to speed their aging up. But as soon as they hit toddler, it's just like go, get that kid out of the house as quickly as possible. But yeah, having the lineup of the beds, we've got the food area there, so we've got a display fridge, so you can just kind of click and drag the food in there, and the kids, the toddler from toddler age up, they can just go and collect the food out of there, and they can eat themselves without having to worry about an actual like opening up a fridge or worry about a high chair or anything like that. It just makes it so much quicker and easier for the mum who already has far too much to do and is constantly passing out. So, really important. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there because we're just about at the end of the tour. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys had fun checking out this rather unusual build. And hey, if you haven't already, just hit a like and give me a comment below as well. Always appreciated. Thanks for that. Bye.